blackened wings, they shone as night. Pressure builds, pain unknown, inside a demon never shown. Mental torture, anguish inside, mask on the outside, pain to hide. What is going on? Why can't I find the traces of the pain lost in the mind? Spiraling, spiraling, the thoughts they consume. Faking the happiness, a new day to resume. How did I get here? How did I get this far? Why won't this wound heal to a scar? Crying inside, pressure teeming, wanting release, relentless dreaming. Thread holding, teeth gnashing, bare wall, fist bashing. When will it all end? When will I find the doorway behind me to lock in my mind? Spiraling, spiraling, the thoughts they consume. Faking the happiness, a new day to resume. How did I get here? How did I get this far? Why won't this wound heal to a scar? Crying inside, pressure teeming, wanting release, relentless dreaming. Thread holding, teeth gnashing, bare wall, fist bashing. When will it all end? When will I find the doorway behind me to lock in my mind? Spiraling, spiraling, the thoughts they consume. Faking the happiness, a new day to resume. How did I get here? How did I get this far? Why won't this wound heal to a scar? Where is the light? Where is the hope? Where can I find one glimmer to cope? Spiraling, spiraling, the thoughts they consume. Faking the happiness, faking the happiness, a new day to resume. How did I get here? How did I get this far? Why won't this wound heal to a scar? Blood runs in stains, tears just keep it flowing. One day it will stop inside, there is a knowing. Bring it all down, take off the mask, let all the wounds heal. Is that too much to ask? Heal to a scar, one glimmer to cope. Heal to a scar, where is the hope? Heal to a scar, how can I get out? Heal to a scar, release me from this doubt, so I can heal to a scar. It's Brenda, Wolf, and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today as they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into our alignments will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talk, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brenda, Wolf, and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune in if you can.
Tune in now. Phoenix Talks is live. Welcome, welcome everyone. I am Brenda Wolf, also known as Micah, for those outside of the Smule world. And this is my beautiful co-host, Reverend Diane.
Hello.
And yes, that was an original by me, created through the magic of Suno. Unfortunately, I was not the one singing it because it is out of my vocal range.
It was a lovely song, by the way. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It fits right
but as soon as I saw what we were going to be talking about today, last week, it instantly came to mind. Wait, you wrote a song about that. So,
I love it.
Heal to a Scar. That is our topic for tonight.
Yes. All right. So what were your
and-
thoughts around that, Micah? Talk to us.
Oh my God. Well, the first branch is always the scab, right?
Mhm.
Because we get a wound, physically or emotionally. And so many times, let's use the physical imagination real quick when you cut yourself, okay? the body immediately knows what to do to begin healing it, because you see the blood rushing to it, even if it's not vein deep. So it begins to do the healing for you. Yes, you need to clean it. Yes, you need to tend to it. But the scab that forms is the body's way of recovering from that wound. And if you pick at it, it takes longer for it to heal. Eventually, it becomes a scar. But the amount of time that it takes to get to that point is whether or not we continue to pick at the scab. Now, take that to an emotional level.
Right.
And this is one area where people who have been to therapy for years, people who have been to counselors for years, psychiatrists, psychologists, coaches, might get a little angry. Because picking at a scab over and over and over again, especially an emotional scab, don't help the healing.
Right.
It doesn't let it heal to a scar,
Right.
one that you can carry with you and understand the pain that you used to be in.
Right.
If you're in pain now, it's because of a thought. It's because of a memory of what happened. Sounds like, feels like, looks like, that we just perpetuate and welcome in like a best friend.
Right.
Yes, you do. Don't argue with me. Because I know you're going to want to in your mind, right? That's not my best friend. I don't think of it as my best friend. I don't cuddle up with that at night.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it and it brings your mood down and it brings an experience in constantly that you don't like, and you're trying to figure out what you're supposed to learn from it, what actually caused it, because our memory likes to shift things around and juggle things up. You cuddle with it. And we love you.
Yeah.
So where do you want to take it from there?
These reopening these scars, it's basically you get triggered, right? You're re-triggered. And why isn't this trigger going away? Why can't it just be like in the background, that little line that I see, okay, that was this event, that's done. Well, I would give homework in this instance, and when you do your self-analysis, you need to analyze from an observatory position when you're reviewing and reflecting the circumstances and situation, to include what patterns of behavior are you exhibiting that allowed the circumstance to repeat. In other words, did you not set a boundary properly? Did you not speak up for something like you should have? And that was a should. Yes, it was. Where's that bird? But the idea is you need to include, what am I doing to make this repeat? Number one. And then number two, what can I do to change what I'm thinking and doing and presenting myself as, to deter this from occurring again? And then three, how will I respond to it going forward with whatever new information I've accumulated in my head? Sometimes these things are not caused by us, they're caused by external forces, but we're still internally responding in a certain way, which brings that wound open again. So it's important for us to understand our own part in this not being a scar. How do we not pick it? That's what I'm getting at. Here's how not to pick it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
And the image that I was getting while you were talking about all of that is, okay, tripwires. All right, you set your own tripwires.
Right.
You're trying to protect yourself, and you know exactly where they are.
Mhm.
You put them there.
Right.
But then one day you're not paying any attention and you trip the tripwire and the booby trap goes off. The booby trap being the trigger.
Right.
And it feels like that wound is open again because it just
Right.
smacked you in the face, kind of like Kevin in Home Alone
Right.
with the frying
So
pan to the face.
right. Right. So in that, analysis and whatever process, when you get to that response thing, how are you going to respond going forward so that the next time this happens, you see it for what it is realistically, and you have an opportunity to practice implementing new patterns of behavior and new presentation of yourself in order to deter, de-escalate, uh, and dissolve whatever that circumstance and situation is that you choose not to be in, that is making that scar try to reopen.
Right.
You can set the boundaries like, nope, we're not going down this road. This doesn't resonate with me, and I'm putting a stop to it right now.
Yep.
It doesn't
And
have to be those words.
just for clarity, for everybody watching, the topic today is Heal to a Scar. And we are talking about emotional wounds that we have spent a lot of time focusing on how we don't like it, what we want to change, what we can learn from it, and then we've allowed it to scar over. We finally stopped picking at the scab,
Mhm.
and it's now a scar. How do we
Right.
get to that point of emotional wounds? And it doesn't matter
Right.
how large or how small.
Right. And I see Sandra said, and I'm squinting because I don't have my glasses on. Are you talking about traumatic memory? So that's also picking at a scar.
It is.
So let's talk about the different aspects of how we pick at scars. Or scabs, I should say, and reopen wounds. So, right? Because we
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
I
we do.
mean, there's our physical body that remembers things too. So when we remember a negative and a horrible event, which our brains are wired to remember to keep us safe. So first understand the way our biology works. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. So sometimes when things present themselves that look like a duck, act like a duck, smell like a duck, walk like a duck, it's a duck. It's presenting itself to us so that we can practice relaxing our nervous system and choosing a different outcome for
Right.
ourselves and
Yeah,
a different
brain and
experience
hormone.
first.
Yes, absolutely, Sandra. Brain
Right.
and hormone. Yes.
It doesn't make it the law
Nope.
and an obligation for you to experience these things. It's set in place for your own self-preservation, as is your body's meant to work for you, right? Otherwise, we'd all be dying all the time for random reasons. You know? So first understand this is your body's biology indicating something isn't right.
Yep.
So
Now, if you have one little aspect that used to be a trigger, one little layer, your body goes on alert. If you get two, your body goes on more alert. You get three, even more. So the more that it looks like, the more that it smells like, the more that it feels like that thing that happened. It doesn't have to be all of them. And depending on what it was, it could be one thing. Just one.
Right.
Now, for a friend of mine, may she rest in peace, she dealt with, at a very early age, being raped. And all the way through the rest of her life, just the mention of OBGYN, and she would go into panic attack because it never fully healed. Now, that's just one aspect. But because it was such a traumatic, just the mention of it, because she was never taught a healthy way to face it. And it was always a level of shame for her and fear. So it was a scar, it was a scab that never fully healed.
Right. When it comes to, on that note, and circling all the way back to when it comes to a memory that pops up, like there's no physical circumstances you're in, it's just a traumatic memory that pops up. I need you to shift the focus on how amazingly well you got yourself through it. Even if it was ugly as hell and messy as hell, you still got yourself through it. Whatever survival mode you your body chose to use and your mind chose to use to get yourself through that moment, you got yourself through that moment. And I want you to shift your focus on your ability to get yourself through moments even when you don't have the tools and the resources to know what's going to work for you in that circumstance. That's a lot healthier. You don't know what you don't know until you learn something different. So I want you to reflect on that with compassion and understanding and encouragement for your own badassery. It doesn't matter how awful it looked in your mind. And the shoulda, coulda, wouldas need to get thrown in the trash.
Because you can't.
Right. And a lot of us have a lot like delayed emotional processing. I know neurospice, me too. So like it takes me sometimes a few days to like really let it sink in what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, listen, that's just the way it goes. It's the way my brain is wired.
Yeah.
You have to understand that about yourself too. Sometimes we emotionally delay a processing because that's what our body does. And so that being said, it's okay. I think I want to let you know to lead with compassion yourself, lead yourself with compassion when it comes to things that aren't necessarily happening, but things that are in the past that come up. We don't want to ruminate. We don't want to rehash. We don't want to relive. That's keeping your focus on that negative shit and basically inviting it into your space again.
Oh, I have
It's
such a great example. Okay. I recently, my parents are moving and they've been going through their attic and, you know, sorting things out. They're sending me things from God when I was, before God was a boy, but, and,
that's funny.
and one of the items was from my middle school, it was my yearbook from when I was in middle school. And excitedly looking through the pages, going to the class section where they have the little school pictures of everybody, and everybody's just smiling uncomfortably, going, "God, I hate my hair. Why did my parents make me wear this?" You know all of this. You know all of those. I'm searching and searching, find the page that I'm on from that year, and then I see it, the tear marks. Somewhere along the line, I ripped it out. And I don't know why. And my brain immediately, and I know what I was going through emotionally at that point, because that was the first year of finality of divorce and beginning of new family. So I know that where I was emotionally, and I know where I was as far as being the odd boy. So it was one of those things of, why did I tear this out? I don't understand. Was I feeling this way? Did I tear it up? All of these things.
Yeah.
Right there, triggered. Oh shit! There's a wound that never fully healed. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, but I'm okay now. So, do I need to ruminate on this? Do I need to go over this again and again and again, trying to figure out why I did that? No, it was done. It's over with. I can't take it back. It's in the trash in the landfill. Probably at this point, part of the dirt.
Yeah.
So, going back to what she was talking about, where the body goes into survival mode, and everything that you badass people got through and survived, use that newfound understanding of survival mode, because guess what? You got the fuck through it.
Right. Right. Don't judge it. Approach yourself with compassion and understand what you can do, learn what you can do differently going forward, and recognize when that time comes, ooh, here's an opportunity for me to practice. Boy, it's going to be uncomfortable, but a different version of mess. Yeah. And eventually it gets easier.
I probably should have put this up at the beginning of the show, but I'm gonna just put this real quick, okay? Because we're being really loose tongued on this show. So there you go. There's your warning. All right.
There you go. Yes, we're saying curse words and stuff.
But this is
Karen said,
this is one of those conversations where we filtered enough.
So Karen says, how can we know where the difference is between comfort zone and protection zone? So I think the way you need to look at comfort zone is is not even a space or a place, and protection zone, not even spaces or places. Shift it into, is this adding value to my experience? Is this what I want to experience? Is this resonating and aligned with how I believe in my values? How does this affect my nervous system? So, because we're uncomfortable when we're learning something new, that's a good uncomfortable, right? We're uncomfortable in the when we're changing, when we're evolving. There's a level of discomfort that occurs. And there's a level of protection that needs to occur too when we're learning how to implement boundaries, when we're learning how to communicate more effectively to not repeat circumstances, right? So the only way that is going to stay a scar is if we take actions and feel uncomfortable and proceed with caution and protect ourselves going forward. So the protection zone and comfort zone also exist in survival mode. So how comfortable are you with triggering the person who is your abuser? You're going to get real comfortable with that so that you're not hurt. So like it's an unhealthy balance and dynamic. So what you're trying to do is get yourself into a space where you're acting in your integrity that is in alignment with you, and you're acting in your own authenticity and truth that feels like, okay, I believe that I've done right by me. That's the comfort and protection zone you want to be in. I've taken care of my needs. I've done right by me. I did not self-abandon. I did not self-betray. I didn't self-sabotage myself this time. Like, it's okay if you do. It's just understand yourself with compassion, not judgment, so that you can see yourself through more empowering eyes and expand yourself to choose something different. I feel like we get caught with reopening the scar and then stuck on that shame cycle, that guilt cycle, that judgment cycle, which traps us there. And then we ruminate and ruminate and ruminate, and that's what we keep reopening those scars
until we catch ourselves.
Right. And this journey is a series of repeats in different people, in different circumstances, so that we have opportunities to try on something new that's healthier for us. It's not a perfect scenario or formula for everyone, because we're so individual and unique that it's going to be very specific to you and what feels right to you.
Yes.
And that's the whole point, is authenticity. Are you being authentic? Is that comfort zone and protection zone authentic with an alignment with your values?
Right. Now, take everything she just said. Take everything she just said. And I'm going to simplify it just a little bit for you, because I want you to think about everything that she just said. I want you to embody everything that she just said. Now, here's how to tell the difference with everything that she just said. Your comfort zone and your protection zone have two completely different kinds of physiological responses. When you are comfortable, your heart rate is still beating. When you are in protection, it starts to beat a little bit faster. Your blood starts to flow a little bit faster. Your blood pressure goes up a little bit. You feel the expanse. You feel it taking you out of that comfort zone. That's how you know. And that's what you can pay attention when the triggers are triggered to, is this still something that bothers me, that still hasn't healed, that I need to just allow? Because I'm not there anymore. Whatever it was, whatever caused that initial emotion, not anymore. You're here.
Yeah.
And you can find comfort in the fact that you survived to the here.
Right.
So that you can remember that you're not there. I want to go back a little bit because I don't want to get buried in the comments. Michael brought up, he's learned to notice when his emotions go from 0 to 100, and asks himself if the emotional response is equivalent to the situation that triggered it. And if it's not, he tries to figure out why he had that reaction in his past.
Right. Right. And that is a beautiful example of hitting the pause button. Pause. Yes. Take a minute, evaluate, assess, and make a decision moving forward. So I feel like when we keep reopening scars, we're keeping ourselves stuck in that state of judgment and shame. Right? So I feel like giving ourselves that extra compassion when there's wounds that keep reopening.
Or trucks that drive through the podcast.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed that.
or trucks.
Oh.
The timing of that was perfect. I had to bring it up.
I didn't even hear it. Yes. Excuse my cough. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I think that we need to focus on expanding our knowledge towards what's better and stop worrying about what we did wrong. Because the whole thing is we're so upset about things going wrong, and we stay in that energy that we're not allowing ourselves to expand our knowledge and expand our communication vocabulary to include things that are useful to that particular circumstance going forward. So instead of focusing on the all the negative stuff, focus on okay, what did I learn from this scenario? I don't like it at all, hurt like a bitch, didn't like it, don't want to experience it again. You might experience it again, but next time it comes up, oh, wait, I learned a few tricks. I'm going to set this boundary like this. Let's see if that works.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a process and a spiral. You can't get discouraged every time it happens. It's a process of relearning. I feel like emotional skills need to be looked at like sports skills. You got to do drills on the soccer field in order to get really good at it. You're emotionally going to do drills. So every time that scar is opened, it's another emotional drill for you to practice, study and practice. How do I improve? What do I need to fix? What didn't work? How did this happen? How did I invite this in? Like all this kind of stuff. Right? I just wanted to see. I didn't want to miss anything.
That's
yeah.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. So.
And, all of us have where, just today, the metaphor crossed my mind, or extension of the heal to a scar metaphor. If I've healed this to a scar, then why are the constant new cuts a way for that to escape again? Think about that. Because it's not going to be the same when we experience an emotion like one that we've healed. But sounds like, smells like, it's going to have the same effect. So we're going to try and compare and just bring ourselves down again because we're experiencing the same thing with a different title.
Right.
Okay, take a moment, take a pause, take a rest if you need to. Walk away from it. It doesn't have to be something that just tears you down for the rest of the day. Just a couple. It passes.
Right.
It only sticks around if you hold on to it.
Right. So I see somebody mentioned, because I can't without my glasses.
EMDR,
right.
Yes.
So there are so many different useful and assistive modalities out there to help you understand yourself, to help you clear some blockages. But all of these tools and modalities and resources that we have available to participate in, to assist ourselves in the healing process, are not going to stick if we keep doing and believing the same things going forward. It has to be coupled and in cohesive, simultaneous action with
Yeah.
you doing something different and thinking something different in order for that scar to form and stay.
Right. And I don't know if this is the best example or not, but it's the one that came flooding in very quickly to compare to. But you have a friend, they're in an abusive relationship. You see what's going on. You know that they are allowing extensive pain to come to them, and you can't understand why they stay there, why they don't leave.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't found what I call their want to want. And when it comes to, we've talked about spiritual bypassing. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't. It helps. Right. It helps, especially the more that you do it, the more that you allow yourself and the changes to occur. But you can't spiritually bypass healing.
The emotional part of it, right?
Nope.
Right. So all of these wonderful I just had QHHT yesterday. I friggin' loved it. It was awesome. Oh, that explains where this comes from. Okay, I got it. But I am also implementing the strategies that I need to put in place for myself in order to change my future and my outcome. So I don't want folks to get stuck on that will fix me, because then the spiritual bypassing happens and we don't actually sit with what it is that we need to do to maintain this feeling of peace and clarity that we have in those moments that we receive, that we these tools assist us.
And Michael is going to show you
how. Read that, because I can't see.
I've accepted that I'm not perfect. There are going to be some days I fall back into old patterns. I give myself the grace to accept those bad days and acknowledge them. I'm human, but I can do better tomorrow.
There you go. Yes.
How? Are you going to have shit days no matter how positive your life is? Uh-huh.
Of course.
If you think that you're not going to, and you think that everything's going to always be positive, oh, bless your heart.
Yeah. So here's what I'd like to offer as a mindset shift with regards to shit days. When we are not when we are not spiritually bypassing and we are actually doing the work to actively participate in our own healing and feel the discomfort of implementing new thought patterns and behaviors that we learned were healthier, albeit unfamiliar, but healthier, so we're told. Let's try them on.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to challenge you to shift that into, oh, this is a challenge and an opportunity to practice. Okay, I'm being shown this emotion is coming up. I'm being given the opportunity to let this breathe so that I can feed it love and compassion and understanding and decide and analyze what needs to be different going forward next time and learn what new things I can do instead. Right. So that's what needs to happen. It's a challenge and an opportunity. You're being challenged to do something different.
It's kind of like I got tired of, trying to say that I'm something and arguing with myself. Mm-hmm. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
So affirmations, I love them. They don't work for me. I know who I am. I don't need to say that.
Right.
Because I'll argue with it at some level, mm-hmm. somewhere deep inside. I will argue with whatever it is that I say I am. Mm-hmm. But if I question it, how is it that I am so confident to tell you this story right now? It helps me to increase and enhance the positivity behind that statement instead of just I am a very confident person. God, I literally heard it in my head as I said it right now. I fucking heard it in my head. Real time, guys. This is real time. And it wasn't even something planned or programmed. It was there. I kid you not. This face don't lie.
And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, you're proving that no, you're not wrong by even just doing a podcast for 2.5 years, because it takes confidence in your knowledge, in your expertise, in your communication style, in your ability to present yourself. It takes confidence to do these things. So you already now, I love affirmations. They're my favorite because I have learned and I teach people, yes, it strengthens the crap out of what it is you're trying to convince yourself of. Prove it to yourself. See yourself in and this goes back to the whole revisiting and reviewing and looking at yourself differently, and instead of focusing on what went wrong and what you did wrong and all the wrongness about it in your mind, shift that into none of that was wrong. All of that was information. I did exactly what I learned to do. I didn't like that. It didn't feel right and it doesn't look right. But I'm proud of myself for at least doing something that got me through it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like I had said last week, with every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. That's the one affirmation that I finally stopped arguing with because I kept saying it.
yes,
But I
accepting
got tired of arguing with all of the others.
right. And yes, Michael, accepting the bad feelings and emotions is the first step. So the acknowledgement and understanding that you're feeling what you're feeling. Sometimes we have to be mad. We have to be pissed off sometimes. We have to be sad. We have to grieve. They're necessary for us. What we don't want to do is disempower ourselves, condescend upon ourselves, and belittle ourselves for those emotions. That's living in shame. That's breeding that instead of saying, I'm so proud of you and you're so courageous and brave to face these big emotions, and we got this, we could do this. And this is you self-talking. And I am a confident person. Look at what I've accomplished. I've done this, and that kind of stuff takes confidence. And I did it. I really did it. So, you need to have these inner talks with yourself.
Right. Yeah, and Karen just said it's not just us showing confidence; it's everybody who sits and watches these and takes in. Now, are we pros?
No, God, no.
Are we the 100% go-tos? This is how it should be done. No, and I couldn't, with good integrity, tell you that I am the know-all, be-all, and neither is she.
No.
There are so many different ways to get to good mental wellness.
So confidence doesn't require you to have a degree or X, Y, and Z. You just have to know and have validated your own intellectual property. If you know something, why are you gaslighting yourself and doubting yourself? Stand firm in
Sorry,
it.
I'm laughing at one of the comments in the chat. Well, if that's true, then what the hell am I doing here? If it resonates, stick around. If it doesn't, bye.
I mean, you and I are qualified to speak on these topics. Therefore, we are confident, but it took us confidence in what it is that we are saying to present ourselves, because there's plenty of people out there with degrees and certifications and whatnot who are still not confident in themselves. I'm not going to go get a Reiki session from somebody that I'm not confident in because they're not confident in themselves.
Right.
So I think that's the key to remember is, like, if you know that you're solid in that particular arena, that's what you need. Okay. There are plenty of examples out there in the real world of individuals who have nothing more than this isn't about a degree thing. It's about a confidence thing. And I think, and I'm bringing this up because I think in our world that we live in, everyone believes that, well, how can you be confident in it if you're not certified or expert or this or that or whatever? So
I didn't need somebody else to tell me that I knew how to heal. because the universe was kind to me, and I say that sarcastically, by
Right.
giving me small examples of multiple kinds of scars that other people
Yeah.
have. You want me to show you a certification? Sit at my table.
Yeah.
Don't look at my wall,
Right.
because you're not going to find one.
Right. Right. It's funny you say that. Don't look at my wall. I literally listen just to boost my own confidence, because I'm at a new place in space with this reverendship now. I'm fully ordained and I can actually practice under that. I'm actually a minister
Right.
now, so I can do these things now legally and whatever. So, like, to boost my own confidence, I actually stuck my certifications on the wall, because we're all guilty of like diminishing and minimizing our own knowledge and our own experience and our own worth in subtle ways.
Yeah.
So like I want you to reflect on your knowledge and experience as entirely valuable, regardless of the source, regardless of certification completion, all that jazz. It's still you.
Yeah.
You can be confident in yourself. And that helps with this, with closing those scars, because you can't hold a boundary that you're not confident in.
Nope.
Right? You can't speak a truth that you're not confident in. You're going to allow people to continuously open those scars, open up those scabs and wounds, pick that wound, it's going to constantly reopen if you're not confident in your healing practice and your new information that you want to implement.
Right.
You're not confident in your own ability to make it happen for yourself. Yes, you can. Yes.
And telling yourself, I will always feel this way, I will never feel a different way. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I'm laughing at that. Mike said, yes, it's the hallelujah test. That's right.
And it wasn't a bad joke. I was going to let her say it, but
that's actually funny.
It is funny.
That's not bad at all. That's very appropriate.
Can I get an amen?
That's funny.
Come on, let's go.
Yes. we all testifying here.
We want to see you guys healthy and healed.
Yeah.
We want you to be able to look at a scar. I mean, how many of us have physical scars that just tell stories? That's all they do. They remind you that this happened, and family.
Remember, those stories keep you in victimhood.
It doesn't bother
those stories
you.
keep you in victimhood. Mm-hmm.
And if that's allowed.
Right. Right.
But if you were still in victimhood when you're telling the story, if it is a scar that is healed and it has just become a story,
that's different.
It's completely different.
Sharing your experience is not the same as allowing yourself to relive it for validation, for sympathy, for manipulation, for whatever things that keep you in survival mode. Our goal is to get you.
I mean,
out.
it's okay. It's okay to use that tactic while it's healing. If it's a physical wound, it's okay to use it. Oh,
and Karen said
ahead.
why, but I don't know.
Don't be afraid to ask for
why
help.
what, Karen? I'm sorry. I don't know what that's referring to.
We've
Right.
said so many things in just the last few seconds. For. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. Yes. But as far as the healing of the scar goes and making sure that it stays that way and not reopen, it really is all about the stuff that we've been talking about on every podcast from history on till now.
Yeah.
Because the only way to close that permanently is to practice implementing new, healthier things and see what actually works. See what fits you, see what feels right, see what relaxes your nervous system. And a lot of times it's going to include eliminating the environment and the individuals in the environment. And
I like that, Michael. You got a tattoo that he designed.
Scarlet letter.
He got a history of sobriety because it is the scarlet letter. And
Yeah.
if he's honest about who he is, then people can't use it. Exactly.
Look at that. Yes.
I took their weapon and made it my shield. Excuse me, tickle in my throat. Bad timing.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen, for clarifying. She's saying, aren't we good enough when it's not healed yet? Maybe the healing process is that who one is without the emotional strings. We're always good enough. Always.
Yeah.
Our perception of ourselves is skewed.
Yeah.
And so we're always enough. We're always perfect as we are. It is our perception of ourselves that sometimes gets skewed because of external influences. Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Sorry. Furball.
Yeah. It isn't about you.
I had to mute myself to take care of the furball.
Yes, it's a stair. Make them small steps. Don't make them giant steps that you can't reach. You need a ladder for that. It's just because the small ones build the solid foundation that you need to maintain the boundaries, the speaking up, the authenticity, the courage, to maintain that momentum of forward movement for you. Right? Yes. Yeah, we have to master ourselves. That's what this is. We're teaching you to master yourself. And we hope that you share this information or invite people in. Because if it's helpful for you, it may be helpful for someone that you know that would find it helpful.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
We're creating.
And I think we have over 100 hours of conversation.
Right, with great little nuggets.
Yeah.
Free therapy.
Each of these is almost like a master class on the topic. And they kind of follow sync. I mean, it's like some, sitcoms where you have to know get to. I mean, it's like we talked about this and we'll go check the playlist and see where we talked about that particular topic. You're welcome. Weekly therapy, yes. and we try to throw some humor in there too, so that it's not all just serious.
Right. And the challenge for
tears
you guys
is one of my favorite emotions.
Right. I mean, the challenge for you guys is to learn how to implement what we're saying specifically into your own experiences, because you're not doing a one-on-one in this setting, so we can't go into the specifics with you. Unless you want to book us outside of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like I integrating it in, you need to have the confidence to allow yourself permission to integrate new things so that you can make sure that wound doesn't open again.
Right.
Yes.
And the more that you understand, and you hear me say this at some point every week, but when you understand the connection between your experience that you have in any situation, the feelings that are attached to that experience, and the thought that is attached to that feeling, which is attached to that experience, none of them exist without each other.
Right.
And one does not exist before, except feelings.
Yeah.
A thought creates an experience, but that experience is based on the feeling that you have.
Yeah.
So if you want a better experience, you don't have to change the thought, just change how you perceive it.
Right. And I'm going to add to that, stop gaslighting yourself.
Please.
Because a lot of times we talk ourselves or rationalize something. The feeling is there to tell you something's not resonating. Don't convince yourself that you're wrong. You can analyze yourself to make sure it's appropriate in those circumstances and for what's happening around you. You can evaluate it to see if it's appropriate. Yes. But in that evaluation, you're going to acknowledge it for what it is and address it accordingly.
You're having a bad experience because you weren't listening to yourself and you were doing, would you shut the fuck up gaslighting me? True story, I have done this. I have yelled at my higher self saying, would you stop gaslighting me? I know I just messed up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Karen, uh,
Yes, definitely wrong kind of gaslighting.
yeah. I don't want you to, I don't want you to, I don't want you to confuse gaslighting yourself for, how do I want to say this? I'm not sure how I want to say it. Let me let it sit for a minute because I don't want to say it wrong. I'll move on to something else and we'll come back to what's happening in my brain that needs to be sorted out. Because I don't want I don't want you to shame yourself.
No.
I don't want you to shame questioning yourself. Questioning yourself is so important. What I want you to discern is that you recognize the reality and tune into the actual reality of the circumstances and situation. What reopened that wound? What exactly triggered you? Were these circumstances appropriate to have this kind of response, or is this reminding you? Do the analytical work.
Right.
All through the eyes of love and compassion and acknowledgement and gratefulness for your own badassery, regardless of what it looked like. Right? Now, apologize if you feel it's appropriate that you need to apologize. And make it an apology that is meaningful.
Right.
You know, I had to do one today because I had a business meeting earlier and there was somebody there that I thought was part of the business meeting. So they were included in the discussion. And then I later found out they weren't, and that they were injecting themselves into things that they didn't belong in. So I apologized that I added to the chaos of that meeting by including them in the logistics and operations discussion that was underway. You know, so like you have to apologize where it's necessary to apologize and acknowledge what part you play in anything.
Even though
If
that whole
it's
situation was,
appropriate.
you were not at fault because looks like, smells like part of the conversation. So,
Even if I wasn't at fault, I still
but you still
added
maintained
to,
integrity.
because even unbeknownst to me, I added to it because I was like, you know,
Right,
amplifying,
right.
okay, yeah, we can do that. Okay, yeah, great idea. Let's do, you know, I didn't know that they had nothing to do with the thing.
And that's one of those, whoops, sorry.
Right. And so you need to apologize appropriately where it's appropriate, but you don't have to apologize for your own existence. That's people pleasing and managing other people's emotions, and you're not interested in managing everyone else's emotions. You're only responsible for your own, and that's another way to keep the scar closed. Manage your own emotions only, not everyone else's. You're not obligated. Holy crap, we've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, we have. I was going to give one more reminder before we get our shameless plugs. Because a lot of times, and this is, I said that I was going to piss off therapists. Stop asking about childhood. Stop searching your childhood. Why? Because you are looking through foggy memories that have become adults. That's why. The inner child doesn't feel safe in these situations. What you need to do is embrace the innocence, the purity of the child before the harm. Love them. Let them know inside. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself as a child standing in front of you and giving the warmest, gentlest, safest hug you can to that child. Let them know that they are safe, that they have survived everything that they thought they didn't and couldn't,
Yeah.
that they are capable of so much more. Something magical after this happens, will happen. I can almost guarantee it. I use almost because everybody's different. I can
Yes.
almost guarantee if
Yes.
you do that, the answers come to you
Right.
when you need them, not when
Right.
you look for them. And that's where therapists are going to get pissed off at me because that's a little tidbit they don't tell the clients enough.
Yes. Now, I am a trauma specialist. I don't talk about the events. We don't talk. There's not necessary. How did it make you feel? What was the emotion? How did, what is it that your response was to that? And the understanding of what was presented and how they were affected is all that really matters, because the idea is, what do you need to know about that you need to do differently going forward, and what do you need to know about that and how it affected different aspects of your experience now today. The details don't matter, and biologically speaking, we block out memories to begin with. We don't need to relive them. It's not necessary. I call that white noise with my clients. Like, I cut them off when they go into a story and they're like, I don't need that. Tell me this. Because that's just we don't need to relive it. We don't need the circumstances around it. We need to know the core. How did you feel? And why did that happen?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just tell you, welcome to being a human.
Yeah. It's messy sometimes.
I mean, you can tell me stories. I'm a good listener. You can tell me stories all day long. It's on your dime.
Yes.
But welcome to being human.
Right.
Because human beings have experiences. Human beings have thought. Human beings have feelings. And sometimes they just get trampled and dirty. You're not mentally unwell.
Yeah.
It's just dirty. And I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Let me check.
We got this.
Last. Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to read quickly, and I'm like squinting as I do it. So like I'm sleeping. I can't see.
That's an empathic question that you need to discern, Karen. Let's see. Michael says, switch the word shut up to quiet. It'll be easier. He said, I had to learn to make myself slow down and shut up and listen for the answer of how to move forward. Switch it from shut up to quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be, like I said, it'll be easier. I started taking a walk, no phone, no laptop, just walking down the street. 95% of the time I hear the answer in those moments. Yes, you'll hear it even faster, and you won't have to take that walk, and then you can just take the walk because you want to.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
If you are interested in working with, I don't want it there. I want it over here.
There it is. Yes. And I also practice Sakem Sakim Reiki and other forms of energy healing. So that is also incorporated in a bunch of stuff that I do. But it's mainly transformational coaching. The energy work is a tool to support and surface emotions for you, just like QHHT or EMDR. Like, all of these are tools to assist in surfacing the emotions that need love and addressing. So it's all available to you.
Thank you to whoever just scanned that QR code. I hope you enjoy her website. It is a beautiful website.
Oh, thank
you ahead of time. You don't have to say you're welcome. Keep it private. There you go. All right. And there's that handsome AI fellow there.
That is cool. That is cool, though. I like that. I came up with something cool.
Oh, you should see the one that I came up with last night shooting the bird. Anyway, thank you to whoever just scanned my QR code. I appreciate it. But, I need to put up another one real quick because there's a couple ways to find me. right here, this is my Facebook QR code passageway. If you're interested in joining Evolve and Emerge, there are specials that I promote there that are nowhere else. You'll hear about things that I have going on before no one else. And this Sunday coming up is the next Risers in Flight call. Today is July 16th, so whatever the Sunday after that is, so that you don't go. But you said it was next Sunday, so it's, sorry, I don't have the date in my head right now. Embarrassing. Oh my God. Anyway, and right next to Diane is the link to my website, untriggered.net. And coming soon, I just finished something amazing. Oh, damn, I just got chills thinking about it. It's called Untriggered, the Phoenix Pathway to Owning Your Own Fire. It is an amazing journey I just finished and am recovering from, which I discovered today because I sat down to go and figure out how to publish it, and my spirit ran out of the room saying, nope, 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 not today. So
Yeah.
we'll do with that soon, but it's ready to get out. And as a special soft launch, this is the first that you're hearing about it. Okay, so if you're watching this, you're the first to hear about it. My 90-minute session offer, which already includes a 90-minute one-on-one that's videoed for you, with you, also has 3 follow-up sessions via Messenger or Zoom for about 15 to 20 minutes, 2 months of Risers in Flight subscription. Now it's going to get a soft copy of my new book. I don't have to wait for publishing on that. I can just send you a PDF. And this book is a 20-week, if you do it right, journey to getting back to yourself.
That sounds amazing, Micah. That sounds so amazing to have a book also included with. That's so helpful.
Yeah. Now, the session itself is going to be a lot different than the journey that you're going to go on with the book, but the book itself, the book by itself, it's my shadow book. It's my version of the shadow book, I guess you could say. So I'm really excited about it, and I hope to get it actually published so that people can have it and not have to be at their computer or read it on the phone and zoom in because the font is so small. Whatever. But that's coming soon for order. I'll keep everybody posted on that. So, God, I can ramble on. I'm so sorry. No, I'm not.
Listen,
I'm really not. I don't know why I'm apologizing. Mama told me not to apologize unless I was sorry. So.
Nope, it's all good. It's all good. I don't think anyone's from the Columbus, Ohio area, but if there is anyone out there from the Columbus, Ohio area, you could always come visit me at my office hours at Reliable on High, is the name of the place, Mondays and Wednesdays.
Fantastic. Yeah. And if anybody watches the replay and catches that little tidbit, look her up because she gives some of the best hugs. She really does. She gives some of the best hugs, and she's just so huggable.
Yes,
oh my
thank
God!
You.
So
yes,
and she will let me know since she wasn't inspired tonight, she was a little distracted from everything else that was coming. That's okay. She'll let me know what the next topic is, and I'll get that promo.
It'll come to me.
Oh, she's gonna.
It'll come.
Okay, it's not coming now.
I almost had something.
I paused. And I'm like, ooh, ooh.
I almost had something. And I'm like, wait, I think we did that topic already. It'll come to me. It'll be a surprise.
At this point, they're starting to overlap and interweave, and you know, it's just.
It's okay
it's the way it
because
happens.
there's so many different aspects to everything and so many different ways things can present themselves. So it's helpful to see them from different angles. It's all good stuff.
And wherever you're watching from, if you're part of the Rise Radio community, you can private message me. My Facebook friends, you you can message me there. If you have a show topic that you want us to talk about, send us a message. It may or may not be talked about the following week, but it'll make our lives easier because we don't have to come up. Then all I have to do is come up with a promo, and there we go. We're talking about this.
Yeah.
And give Marie some extra scritchings because she was so good.
Yes, she was very well taken care of all day today and tuckered out. I wore her out today.
All right. You guys have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. And
Thank
I will
you
see
for
you back
being
here
with
next
us.
Monday with the messengers, and we'll be back next week for Phoenix Talks. Love yourselves, please. I love you.
Yes. And Michael's
And-
like, what comes after finding peace with yourself and self-worth? Sometimes the first thing that comes after that is loneliness. Oh, wow. There's our topic for next week. Did we do that already?
No.
Okay. The loneliness that sometimes comes in the healing journey. That's our next topic. Let's talk about how
I'm
to get
going to
ourselves
shorten
through
that. I'm going to shorten that just a little bit. And we're going to call that the owner of the authentic heart. Okay.
Sounds good. Whatever you want to call it.
Owner or owner of the lonely authentic heart or some, I don't know. You'll see, but you get the idea if you've been watching.
Right. We'll dive into how that happens, why that happens, how do we get ourselves into a different state and place, and where do we go from there, kind of thing.
Mine
That's
is already
important.
spinning. You'll see.
Yeah.
I'll make it fun.
Yeah, the stuff they don't tell you in therapy. Listen, healing gets interesting. It's worth the journey, though.
And what they don't tell you in the infomercials either.
Yeah.
Here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
We ain't going to sugarcoat shit. So until next time.
Let's battle it.
Until next time.
Let's do it. Thank you all so much.
It's Brindle, Wolf, and Diane. So listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today as they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into